Hey family, so today I'm going to be pruning a couple rose bushes. We'll probably do a few other things in the yard. This isn't my normal gardening outfit. I usually like to cover up so I'm protected from the bugs, but just got back from my workout, so felt like I'd take advantage of the good weather. So what we're going to do, I have two bushes. This is just a standard white rose bush, and this is a knockout double red rose bush, and as you can see, they're a little overgrown, and also these roses are looking kind of funky, so I'm going to trim them. So what I would do normally, if the bush was the height that I liked, I would just deadhead the roses. So I'd pinch them off, and then I'd put them in whatever bag I'm going to use to discard them. But since this bush is overgrown, I'm actually going to chop them down a little bit so they get to the height that I want. I'm actually going to chop all of them, even the ones with the good roses, because I can just kind of deadhead the bad roses, put the others to the side, and we'll make a nice little vase later. All right, so let me just do that. I'll end up throwing these away after I finish trimming them. I'll just kind of set up a nice little pile. And of course, with roses, you need to be careful because they are thorny. So I always have my handy gardening gloves on. Now this is going to look really kind of trimmed back because this particular bush, this white rose bush, grows very fast. It's a real hardy bush, so I'm not scared about the fact that I'm taking a lot of it off, because I promise you in about 2 weeks it's going to be exactly how I want it. All right, y'all, so I may have taken off a little bit more than I wanted to initially, and I'm going to clean up these little pieces so it'll look nice and neat. But you can see, if I had have left even some of the 3 or 4 okay looking roses, they just would have been like crazy tall, and I think that would look weird too. So I'm actually pleased with the small little shrub. Like I said, in about a couple of weeks it'll be back. So before I clean up the whole pile, I'm just going to go ahead and move over to the knockout rose. And this has some really good ones, so I'll leave those. So I'm mostly going to deadhead on this because I don't mind this getting a little big. And again, with deadheading these roses, you can use your shears to do it. I usually pinch. One thing about pinching is sometimes the bush moves and you end up shaking off some of the good roses. So that's when I would prefer to just deadhead only the bad ones. Let me just take those and we'll discard them. And I'm just going to keep doing that to all of the roses that look like they're dying. Just get them out of the way so that we can get new blooms coming in. I probably will also fertilize the bush as well. And typically when I do that, I just use trusty old Miracle Grow. And I'll do that usually on paydays. It makes it easy to remember. This isn't a payday though, but I'll do it since I'm out in the garden. Yep, so just getting all those, the ones that look kind of white and spent, just get those so that we only see the nice, beautiful red ones like this one here. All right, almost done. Couple more ones that I'm not super thrilled about. All right, when I'm out here, I also tend to just clean up around the bush. We have some grass growing in, so always like to kind of get that up and then put the mulch back into place. In a couple weeks, my husband and I will end up adding the new mulch down, and so that really makes all the plants pop. So while I'm down here, I'm just going to pick up all these old rose petals that fell as I was trying to prune the bush and just kind of keep everything looking nice and neat. Okay, so I just finished cleaning up a little bit, and I have these 3 white roses that I'm going to keep and put into a vase. But I do want a little bit of color, and these knockout roses are still a little bit longer than I want. So I'm just going to clip and add some of the long ones to the vase with the white roses. So that's just going to give us a little bit of color. And now the rose bush is about the size that I want it. So these should look pretty nice in the vase. We'll see in just a moment. All right, so I just finished trimming roses. I wanted to kind of showcase this tree a little bit because we're still trying to figure out what we want to do with it. It's spring, the tree came in bloom, and as you can see, it's like half dead and half alive. I mean, don't we feel like that sometimes in our lives? I've been focusing on mindset a little bit and coming across a lot of great content on that, and I've been writing more about mindset on my blog, saveinvestbloom.com. And this tree really kind of makes me think about that whole age-old saying, people looking at a glass half empty or half full in terms of what they're dealing with in their life. But you could also say, is your tree half dead or half alive? Or do you feel half dead or half alive? I feel fully alive, even if things are going on in my life and I kind of feel like my life is looking like this, where half of the stuff is going right, half of the stuff is going wrong. I still feel like a fully bloomed, fully alive tree. A lot of that has to do with my faith in God and just knowing that no matter what I'm going through, it's all a part of his plan. So hopefully that can inspire someone today. Even if you're feeling like this tree inside, there's always hope. But yeah, we still do need to figure out what we're going to do with it. All right, this Japanese maple is one of my favorite things in the garden. This one, and of course this one over here, that's just glorious because it's super big. But I want to add more color to the flowers that I'm putting in the vase. So this tree needs to be trimmed a little bit. So I'm just going to take some of the branches that I would have trimmed anyway and add it to the vase. Maybe another clipping so we have a lot to work with. So we're going to take this from the Japanese maple, and then there's a Carolina blue evergreen in the backyard I'm going to trim from too, just for additional color. All right, we're here at my favorite tree in the garden, and this is like called a Carolina blue evergreen. I just really like it because of the color. It looks like it's growing a few more leaves. I would have ended up trimming some of this, probably this branch right here. So I'm going to take some off of this now to add to our vase. So let me get a few. You see, Creedus McNeedus is joining me. He likes to do all the things in the garden too. Actually, his name is Creed, but everybody gets a nickname in this house. So that's his, Creedus McNeedus. All right, so I'm just going to take a couple other clippings because eventually I'm going to come back out here and clip that whole branch, but I'm not in the mood to do all that right now. So this will be nice in our vase. So much for my vase idea. I cut the flowers and the greenery, also the Japanese maple leaves, and I left them outside because I wanted to wash them off to get any bugs and things off them. But however, because I did not put the flowers in the vase right away, you can see they're no good anymore in terms of putting them in a vase. They're already wilted and kind of starting to die. So note to self for next time, since I hadn't done that before, tried to gather a little bit of everything from the garden and put it in a vase. Note to self next time, get the flowers in the vase right away. The greenery still looks pretty good. The Japanese maple leaves still look pretty good as well, but for the flowers, it's a no-go.